Hi. 3 months ago, on June 8th, I told you that my Argentinian stocks are fully valued and I will be taking my profits. How much have they appreciated since I first mentioned them 4 years ago and bought them? All of this, by the way, is public record and can be found in my videos. I first began to mention them at 2021. I mentioned four stocks: Idonor, EDN, Bank Galicia, GGAL, Bank Macro, and another bank, BBAR. Later, I also mentioned the fifth one, Vista Energy, VIST. Why did I mention these stocks? For three reasons. First, they were dead stupid cheap and under all valuation parameters at the very bottom of the cycles. Second, my informers in Washington were hinting that the US Navy may allegedly be trying to find an Argentinian Trump that would give the Navy ships access to Argentinian ports before the State Department allegedly unseated Bolsonaro and elected Lula, then still in jail, who would then prevent Navy ships from using Brazil's ports. Hence the Navy's alleged need for an alternate friendly country, namely Argentina. Now, I know this sounds like crazy talk, but my informers, mid-level functionaries in Washington, have been reliable in the past. So this time too, I decided to pay attention. But the third reason was that Argentina has had a boom-bust cycle for years, not because of economics, but because of alleged corruption. The Kirchner family, first husband, then the wife, as presidents, were allegedly stealing, making deals with Iran and Hezbollah, yes, and allegedly corrupting local business people to keep a closed eye to all this. One of these business people was allegedly the CEO of a big broker, and I mention it because in SEC filing, which Argentinian companies must file because they also have ADS and ADRs trading in New York, showed in a small footnote that the CEO got a clean bill of legal health formally from the regulator, which meant the cycle of corruption in Argentina was allegedly ending and the cycle of cleanup was likely beginning. The nicest part was that most Argentinian stocks were worth, in my opinion, about 10 times what they were trading at, according to my sleuthing parameters, which you can see in my second book, The Advanced Sleuth Investor. In other words, I was staring in the face at a number of almost 10 beggars. Or was I exaggerating? Maybe not. So I loaded up on the border of imprudence and told you all about it in real time over the last 4 years. Look it up. Now skip forward 4 years to 2025. How have Argentinian stocks done? Here are the chart of the main ones I had owned, marked with my actual buy points and the sell points and the multi-bagger pain again over the last 4 years. Here they are. Idonor, EDN, the top one, rose 9.5 times. Bank Galicia, GGAL, rose 8.2 times. Bank Macro, BMA, 9.1 times. BBAR, another bank, 10 times. And the last one, Vista Energy, rose 15 times. Other Argentinian stocks like IRS, Cressy, and PAM, among others, rose similarly. Then, as I said, 3 months ago on June 8th, I told you the time has come to sell them all. Why? Two reasons. First, Argentinian stock prices all across the board began to reflect their value fully and signaled peak of cycle. Again, see my book, The Advanced Sleuth Investor, for some of the ratios. But second, Milei, the new president, became too successful and was inspiring enemies of leftist governments elsewhere. As a result, there was a concerted effort worldwide to knock him down a peg. Knock down how? The usual, with money given to his opponent via NGOs and left-wing billionaires, bad media coverage, and economic warfare by international organizations. How do I know all this? Again, my Washington informers told me this and a few more things besides. Anybody, by the way, could have gotten this information just close off your internet screen and go to the bars on K Street in Washington and talk to people over a cup of beer. They will tell you what they have told me. So, just to be sure, I called some business school classmates and other contacts in South America to confirm, and the word came back that yes, Milei is on the gun side of a lot of pissed off people in power worldwide. Now, mind, Milei may still do okay in the long term, but short and mid-term, he'll be called bad names and blamed and vilified. Couple all this to peak valuation, and it was an easy decision to sell all my stocks. I left only a few tiny bits of some shares in one stock, and last month these were gone too. Did I catch the peak in the stocks? Maybe yes, maybe no. I think I almost did. In two I came close, 10% away from the peak, but in two others I was 20% off, and the fifth, 25% below the peak. Ouch, but good enough though. All in all, the stocks earned 9.5 times their cost in 4 years, plus dividends of between 5 and 7.5% on sub-stocks in the meantime, for a total return of more than 10 beggars in 4 years. What have I done wrong? I may have waited a bit too long to sell, and I missed 2 or 3 other Argentinian stocks that did the same, but all in all, not too bad. So why did I mention this? Just to gloat? Only partly. Mainly I want to note that some of the stocks I sold may still go up further from here based on past valuation ratios, but I don't care. I am done. A JP Morgan once said, always leave the last 20% to somebody else. What else have I missed besides some other Argentinian stocks? I couldn't buy them all. I have missed the rise of the Israeli stock exchange. Since October 7th, 2023, in the attack in Gaza, the EIS, the Israeli market ETF, has more than doubled. Here, I seem to have forgotten Lord Rothschild's old dictum of Ashtesu Lekanom, buy on the sound of guns, always buy in war. And so I missed the rise in the Israeli stock market, a double in 2 years. But I guess some of the Argentinian stocks will probably console me. What else did I miss? I missed the fast rise in gold because, frankly, Argentinian sleuthing took most of my time, and also, frankly, I used most of my capital on them. I told you I bought on the borderline of imprudence. But there's no question that gold did better than the stock market, up 2.2 times since 2021, from 1770 to 1640 today, and better than the Israeli market, up only 2 times in 2021, but not as good as Argentinian stocks, up 8 to 15 times. So, will I buy gold now? Well, I do own some, though not enough, but I plan to add to it, but only sometime in 2026 or 2027 at the bottom of the coming market crash. Yes, when the market, I think, in my opinion, will fall 80% and gold will probably then fall only 50% or so. But that, of course, is only my opinion, and I could, of course, be wrong. And oh yes, before you ask, if you look at Argentinian stock charts, you can see that my price targets from here on are well below the current prices. So some of you may be asking, would I short Argentinian stocks here? The answer is, not if you're not a pro, for 3 reasons. First, some of their stocks pay a healthy dividend, and it's always unwise and painful for you to pay the dividends while your shorts take the time falling. Second, you can only double your money in a short if the stock goes to zero, whereas you can lose unlimited amount if it soars. But third, not all Argentinian stocks are liquid enough to be borrowed. But if you still want to short one, I will look at Vista Energy, VIST, which pays no dividends and can fall precipitously, especially with the coming halving of oil price during the coming crash, from about 60 today to 30. Yes, you heard me right. More about my outlook for oil and interest rates from now to the bottom of the crash sometime in Q4 26 or Q1 27. And of course, remember again, that could also be wrong about this one. That's all for today. Please let me know in a comment below what you think of the above, and if you like it, subscribe to the channel and forward to all your subscribers and friends who they're subscribed to, and buy my books, The Sleuth Investor and The Advanced Sleuth Investor, so you can learn the methods I use to try to take the money in the market of those players who haven't read my books. I'll see you next time, and meantime, thank you very much for watching.